Care to tell us your red pill moment? I don't think there was really a clear moment in which everything just clicked into place. I think as I've already explained in an earlier video, I've always seen that there's been some kind of double standard towards men, and that's not to say that there aren't double standards towards women or sexism towards women. I believe that both males and females have issues in the West, but I've always noticed that males tend to be demonised, and female actions tend to be excused, and there's definitely a double standard. I noticed when I was quite a bit younger in a lot of movies or TV shows, if a male ever cheated on his partner, it was always because he was a low-life dog who just wanted sex. But if a woman cheated on her partner, well, it was because she wasn't getting enough attention, and she was lonely, and it wasn't really her fault, and she didn't really have a choice. So, there's always that double standard. And unfortunately, that double standard doesn't just exist in Hollywood, it also exists in our court system, as we saw in a recent case in Perth. So, I don't think there was a clear defining moment which I could call red pill. I think I've always been at least a little bit red pill. And I think just over time I've become more and more immune to the poison Kool-Aid. Next question. Do you have any friends who are feminists? And if so, how do you deal with them? Well, I think it was probably just over a year ago I found out that a friend I've known for 20 years has drank the poison Kool-Aid. I posted the Christina Hoff Sommers, what was it called? The 5 feminist myths that just won't die. And she left a very angry response to it on my Facebook page, basically saying that this woman doesn't know what she's talking about. At which point I pointed out that she is actually a feminist, and I left a rather long response to her, pointing out numerous things, and her response was, "I just don't have time to deal with this," and that was it. So I guess we're still friends as long as we don't talk about feminism. But I don't think she's really that deep into it. I think she's more of the coffee shop feminist variety. But as I said earlier in this series, the poison Kool-Aid runs deep in Western culture. So I also have another friend who within the last year got a girlfriend, and he's now not allowed to come out and play because I'm an evil MRA, and she thinks that we're all kitten-eating misogynist monsters. So, yep. He's very much under the thumb, the poor bastard. Oh well. Next question. What are your hobbies? Okay, so what are my hobbies? I'm a huge movie buff, as we'll discuss in a later episode in this series. I enjoy catching up with friends and having a chat and a couple of drinks. I guess most of my other hobbies revolve around being creative, with the exception of music. I really don't have any musical talent. I enjoy writing, I enjoy creating graphic art, obviously I enjoy video editing, and I also enjoy photography. I guess a more recent hobby, if you want to call it that, or interest, is travel. which is great when you're a photographer. It's an expensive hobby. Traveling can be somewhat expensive, but it's well worth it. Anyone out there who hasn't had the opportunity to travel overseas, I highly recommend it. I'd recommend, though, at least for your first trip, not to go to somewhere which is similar to your home. I'd love to go to Canada, the UK, and America, but they're all pretty similar to my home here in Melbourne. Obviously different. There still would be many things to see and to do, but I think going somewhere totally different is much more of an eye-opening experience. I guess that's why I've been to Bangkok twice now. It's really an amazing place. It's very different to my home of Melbourne in numerous ways. But at the same time, for some unknown reason, I feel very at home there. I felt it from the very first day I was there, just walking around the streets and having a look. It felt very much like I was just walking around the streets at home, even though it's a very, very different place. The only drawback with Bangkok is the heat. The heat is incredibly oppressive. So a typical day in Bangkok is around 30 degrees Celsius, and for you Americans watching this, that's 86. You got to look out for the motorbikes on the footpath, though. When I first went to Bangkok and I was walking down the street, and all of a sudden a motorbike came off the road and started heading towards me, I admit I did freak a little bit, but after it happened 3 or 4 times, I kind of just got used to it, and you learn just to step to the side, no big deal. The people are amazing and definitely love to barter, so you should be prepared for that. The food is absolutely fantastic, although stay away from ice cubes in your drink in some of the non-touristy type places, unless you want to get a stomach bug. And there's always something to see and do. As someone who really dislikes the heat and humidity, that is a huge drawback to Bangkok for me, but that's really about the only one. It really is an amazing place with lots to do and lots to see, but admittedly, even though it's one of my favourite places in the world, it's not the most amazing place I've ever been, and I'll be talking about the most amazing place I've ever been in my next series of videos. I don't think I'll be able to fit it in to one, so it might take 2 or 3 episodes in this series. But yeah, once again, I'd highly recommend travel, even though it can be expensive. That is something which is a little bit of a limiting factor. Otherwise, I would have done much more than I already have.
14 ISO 721นะฮะเรามีไม่ไปก็เขาพูดได้ใช่ไหม
เบาสุดก็ยังหักยังหัก